Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United news as we discuss Harry Kane and Ten Hag being keen on Harry Kane for a summer transfer. We're also going to talk about a bit of an injury blow for Anthony Martial. We will be talking about the game ahead against Arsenal on Sunday, which is a massive game. And we'll be talking about Gary Neville, who's spoken about Sir Jim Ratcliffe. So lots to get in on the show tonight. And yeah, very much looking forward to it. Very much looking forward to it, especially with this Harry Kane story coming in. And of course, it's Friday night. It's Friday night. What does that mean? On a Friday night, it means it's Q&A time. It means we'll be going to get into your chat as well. So I hope you're doing very, very well tonight. And let's get on with the show, of course. My live chat's a little bit slow, so sorry about that. I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, okay, it's working now. Brilliant, superb. Before we get into all of that, though, let me tell you, we're sponsored by Surfshark on the show tonight. If you don't know what Surfshark is, you should do by now. It's a virtual private network. My personal favourite thing about Surfshark, and the thing I think you'll like the most, is that you can change your location on Netflix or location-specific based streaming services, so you can watch them from anywhere in the world. So if you want to watch your Netflix in the UK, but you're in Australia, then you can put that you're in London and it will think you're in London. Surfshark, as I'm sure you're aware, is a VPN. It's one of the best things about Surfshark is their data protection services, making sure my private messages, photos, videos, and other sensitive material is also protected. And you can use Surfshark across as many devices as you like, even if they're used at the same time. So you can be on your laptop, your phone, etc. It's also available on every device you can think of, Android, iOS, Linux. I think you get the picture there. And it's also got an alert feature that will notify you when your personal information has been leaked online. And because Surfshark are super nice, they're giving United Stand viewers 83% off and 3 months free when you use the code United Stand. That's right, they're not giving you 1 month free, they're giving you 3 months free. They're giving you 3 months free, plus 83% off. Link is in the video description. Check it out. I think you'll really enjoy it. And big shout out to Surfshark and thank you very much for supporting the channel. I think you'll really, really, really enjoy that. So give it a go. Thank you very much to Surfshark. Right, let's get on with the show. And we're going to start off with this story about Harry Kane. How are you, Mark? I'm doing very well. I hope everyone else is good as well. Combined 11, Arsenal United, says David. I will do a combined 11 of Arsenal Manchester United a little bit later in the show. And you can then clip it up and do what you want with it. So I will do one for you. Yes, I will. Right, let's start off with this story then. This is coming in from the Mail tonight. You will sense there is no surprise in my voice tonight about this. So effectively, Manchester United, this is coming in from the Daily Mail. It's coming from Chris Wheeler, who is the Manchester United correspondent, and also Sammy Muckbell as well. They're saying that Manchester United are interested in mega summer swoop for Tottenham striker Harry Kane. Ten Hag has put a new number 9 at the top of his summer recruitment plans, and England captain Kane is among the club's preferred options. Man United Chiefs have already started exploring the particulars attached to a potential move for Kane at the end of the season, and sources have indicated that Kane is open to joining United, news that will encourage Old Trafford Chiefs. Tottenham would like to extend Harry Kane's contract, but there is negativity about their chances of persuading the striker to sign for fresh terms. And Spurs are set to place a minimum 85 million price tag on Kane. But Kane isn't the only player Manchester United on Man United's radar. They're also interested in Napoli striker Osimhen and Salzburg to be our Leipzig striker Benjamin Sesko. So look, it's funny, isn't it? Because we've spoken about this. It's an interesting Friday night sort of topic to start off with and get our teeth into. Combined 11, we're going to do that, David. I would 100% take Kane, Premier League proven, and would elevate the attack tenfold. And that's a super chat from Ahmed. Thank you very much for those. We'll do a poll. Is Kane the striker for you? Yes or no? You can just vote on that. And we will read that out so if people aren't watching live, they can see what the result on that is. I know Robert McCormack loves it. He's got pictures of him on his wall. I actually have said this for quite a long time. I've got a hunch that Man United will sign Harry Kane in the summer. So I'm not shocked or surprised. And I think that this is what I think. I really do think that Manchester United want Harry Kane. I think they wanted Harry Kane 3 years ago. I think they wanted him 2 years ago. I think they wanted him under Solskjaer. I think Man United recruitment is the same people that were here for Mourinho and Solskjaer. Our recruitment, director of football, our scouts, they're all the same people. They're all the same people. So I think that's the people who want Harry Kane. In fact, I'm very, very confident that they are the people that want Harry Kane. I think Manchester United Football Club, that has been around for the last few years, want Harry Kane. I think Erik ten Hag likes the idea of Harry Kane, but I think he prefers somebody else. And I think what's happening here is United are saying, well, you want Osimhen, but he's going to cost 130 million and we might not get him because Chelsea will bid for him. But for Harry Kane, he won't go to Chelsea. Man City won't bid for him. And I think what Man United are saying to Ten Hag is, you like Harry Kane? Well, I do like Harry Kane. He's a world-class striker, but I'd rather have Osimhen. Well, we can try and get you Osimhen, Eric, but Chelsea and everyone else will go for him. But with Harry Kane, we'll get the deal done. Trust us. And Eric, because he's not stupid, will go, yeah, you'll get Harry Kane because it's the easiest bloody deal in the world. He wants to stay in the Premier League. Man City and Liverpool won't bid for him, and he won't go to Chelsea or Arsenal because it's London. He's not going to go anywhere else. You're only competing with Newcastle. Stop trying to con me. So I think that's what's going on here. United want Kane. Ten Hag likes Kane, would prefer somebody else, but United are going, we can't get anybody else, but we will get you Kane. And I think that's what I've always felt. I don't want to say anything against Harry Kane. He's world class, but I think United will go for Kane because he's easier to get than an Osimhen or a Sesko. We need to build for the future, as we know. Ten Hag is good at that, says Caleb. Last few years, United Stand and you have helped me cope by being a healthy distraction. Thank you, Mark. Nishank, I hope you're doing well. Thank you for the lovely chat. You say Man United want Kane, but does Ten Hag? I've never heard a word of him saying that these people won't be here, so what they want won't matter, says Stuart. Mark, we need players this month. The club just don't want to spend the money, says Andy and Bruno. And how long have you said that number 9 is a graveyard shift? Kane drops deep to help. Osimhen does not, and I've been watching him religiously this season, says Acid. I would love Osimhen. I would love Osimhen. Now, on Harry Kane, categorically world-class striker. No doubt about it. I think his game has changed a lot. In the last couple of years at Spurs, he drops ridiculously deep. I don't see Kane in and around the box enough for me. For England or Spurs, I think he gets involved in the build-up way too much. And I think that's a frustration for both teams, both very negative, both very defensive. Southgate, Conte, and I think Kane has dropped deep to get involved, and he's good at it. He's good at the link-up play. But I think we need a striker. I think we need somebody in the box. And if Harry Kane came to United, he'd have to do that. But my biggest concern about Harry Kane is, he is a fantastic striker, but £85 million is what Spurs want for Kane in the summer, yeah? They may want a little bit more if he's going to a Premier League club. So it could go up to 90, 100, right? I am not paying, well, it's not me anyway, but I would not be comfortable paying £85 million for Harry Kane when he's 30 years of age. Because if I'm paying £85 million for a 30-year-old, I want to guarantee that they're going to play like they play now until they're 34. I want 4 years. You know, I want 4 years out of you. Now, I just do not think Harry Kane has got 4 years after this one at the level he is at now. He's a big guy. He's got a heavy run. You know, he's had a few injuries in the past. I just don't... That's my worry. I might be completely wrong. And we might sign him. He'll break the Premier League record, I'm sure. And, you know, people will go, you were wrong. I have been wrong on things. You know, it's a gamble. But I just worry about that. You could buy a 22-year-old for 120 million like Osimhen, and he could have those problems as well. Of course he could. But that's what worries me about Harry Kane. 85 to 100 million pounds for a 30-year-old. It just worries me. I can't help it. I'm being honest. I'm just looking at Harry Kane's injury history, actually. Might be able to put it up on the screen for you. So, did it this morning, so it might work. No, it won't. It will. It will. I'll get it to work. I'll get it to work. I've played the game. I'll get it to work. Don't you worry about that. There we go. Transfer market, Harry Kane. So, I mean, to be fair, he's been pretty good. He's been pretty good. But what I look at with Harry Kane, and I don't know whether you can look at it as well. Let's go right back to the start. 13, 14, 16, 17, ankle injury. 16, 17, ankle injury. 17, 18, ankle injury. 18-19 torn ankle ligament. 18-19 ligament injury. And then 2021 ankle. I don't need to tell you that Harry Kane may have an issue with his ankles. And anyone will tell you, I will tell you, my back pain gets worse the older I get. I mean, I might be completely wrong, but what worries me about Harry Kane is, you know, when you get I just don't think he's going to be what he is in 3 or 4 years. I really don't. So I think it's a gamble to do that. But he is world class. I can't defeat that argument. He is world class. I quite like Harry Kane. Like, I quite like the way he conducts himself. I think he's professional. Some people think he's a bit boring. I quite like that. He's a professional. He's not somebody who's going to be, you know, all over Instagram or, you know, dancing on TikTok or, you know, that's not what Harry Kane is. And I think he is hungry to win things. And, you know, some people mentioned the Van Persie thing. So I'm not dead against it. In fact, I'm probably a little bit like the poll. Is Harry Kane the striker for you? Yes, 42%. No, 58%. And I think that's what I am. I'm probably 60-40 against. I'm not massively against, but I'm probably 60-40 against. So we'll see what happens. I think it's inevitable. I don't think Osimhen's an easy deal to do. I do think it's inevitable. And we'll have to wait and see. Why was 30 not an issue for Casemiro, but it is for Harry Kane, says Rory. Quite an easy answer. I mean, Rory, you're better than that. Because Casemiro's not Harry Kane. Casemiro's won multiple Champions Leagues and is one of the best CDMs in the world. Harry Kane has won nothing. Is a world-class striker in the Premier League. And I worry about the way Harry Kane runs. I worry about his, you know, how powerful he is. I worry about those ankles. I think, look, sometimes, and I don't know the word for it, some people know it better than me, but, you know, it's basically sports science, isn't it? You know, the physical side of football. He's had a lot of ankle injuries in his 20s. It's natural in your 30s that he may have problems. Signing Harry Kane would take a big fee, big wage, and it's a big step backwards in the development of this team. Completely goes against the grain, says Stuart Walker. Buy Kane with the expectation of a top striker for the next couple of years and buy a developmental striker like Sesko to take the baton, says Neil. And hello, hope everyone is doing well. If we are talking about building, I think we must get a young striker that will be at the club for about 4 or 5 years, says Tapia. Yeah. Well, look, you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens with it. I think it's very interesting, and certainly, if you were asking me which striker we're going to buy in the summer, I would say Harry Kane is, you know, without doubt the favourite. You know, I really think it's the most logical because, and I'll go back to what I said as well. Osimhen, Sesko, very big competition to buy him. Harry Kane, there is no competition for Man United. Like, literally, it falls into your lap. And you know what United are like. Under the current regime, United are not very good at recruitment. They're obviously going to push the Harry Kane deal because they'll make out it's a great deal. And it might be a great deal, but it's the easiest deal for Man United you'll ever have. Top world-class striker signing for United without very much work. He doesn't want to stay at Spurs. He can't go to Chelsea or Arsenal because they're London clubs. Man City and Liverpool have already bought strikers. So it's Man United or Newcastle because he doesn't want to leave the Premier League because he wants to break Alan Shearer's record. So it's absolutely in our lap. It's a very easy deal to do. CDM is also easier to age in as well, says Hunter. Yeah, technically you're right. Hi, Mark. Thoughts on the Marco Reus news? Wakas, I spoke about this at some point today. I think Marco Reus is a terrible deal to do. Doesn't mean we won't do it. 33 years of age. He's had 3 ankle injuries in the last 5 months. And I don't think he's ever played in a World Cup. He's always injured. So, you know, you have to look at injuries. We've had a really bad run. And I don't think there's a United fan out there that won't look at injuries. You have to. This fan base, this football club, we've learnt the hard way. You don't just buy a name and not look at their injury record. You have to do it. Look at Eric Bailly, 3 different injuries in the year before we bought him, injury prone. Phil Jones has been ridiculously injury prone. Anthony Martial, injury prone. You know, we've had so many Cavani, brilliant player, but his injury record was there before we bought him, and it continued when we did buy him. Completely unreliable. We can't keep buying those types of players. We've got to be careful. Tumbleweed says we need a younger striker. And hi Mark, thoughts on Mucker? I've done that one. Kane is nearing 30, had injuries, expensive and no one wants him. Sounds like a United deal to me, says Stephen Rossi. Yeah, and look, of course, the ownership of Manchester United will hopefully make us make different decisions. We still might buy Harry Kane, but hopefully we'll make different decisions to what we've made in the last few years. Mitrovic is interesting. Tony's been mentioned. There are striker options out there, and ultimately you've got to give Ten Hag what he wants. But we'll see. Just on injuries, by the way, a little bit more topical in the now compared to this story about Harry Kane in the summer. Good question here from Mbimbi. He says, "What do you think new owners would want Kane?" We'll talk about that in a minute. Bayern did want Kane, Marvin, but he doesn't want to leave the Premier League because he wants to break Alan Shearer's goal record. Anthony Martial hasn't trained with Manchester United all week. This came out from Hurst Class on Twitter, who writes for the Times. He revealed today that Anthony Martial has not trained all week. Certainly not until this morning. We don't know whether he's trained today, but he hasn't trained since he came off at half-time against Man City a week ago. Well, a week ago tomorrow lunchtime. So Martial has not trained with Manchester United since last Saturday lunchtime. That doesn't look good. That doesn't look... In fact, I would rule him out of the game against Arsenal right now, because we are not going to repeat what we did last week, where Martial didn't train all week, trained on the Friday and then started on the Saturday lunchtime, but had to come off at half-time. I just don't think Ten Hag will take that risk again. So it looks like another blow for Arsenal. Not for Arsenal, for us, in the sense that no Casemiro and now no Martial. So it's not looking good with Martial. And as I said when I was playing FIFA this afternoon, thanks to everyone who joined me for that, actually, it's going really well. Goldbridge at the wheel with United. But I said it when I was playing FIFA this afternoon. It's really difficult to envisage how we are going to do in this game when we are missing quite a few key players. And I think without Martial, it becomes a bigger problem for Manchester United. Not an unattainable problem. I think we can still get something out of the game, hopefully. But yeah, we're going to miss Martial. And the thing about Ten Hag as well is he never tells you, and I think he does it for a reason. I'm not knocking Ten Hag here. I think it's very obvious why Ten Hag does it. He never says how long a player's out for. So we don't know how long Delot's out for, and we don't know how long Martial's out for. They could be out for a very, very, very long time. But what he does is... he never tells us when... he won't say Martial's out for a month. Martial could be out for a month. You don't know that. I don't know that. Delot, we never got told after the Portugal injury in the World Cup for Delot how long he was out for. There was never a date given. And it ended up being 3 or 4 weeks. So Martial could be out for a month. We just don't know. Ten Hag just doesn't do that. He doesn't let people know. So we might be out without him for a long time. And I wouldn't rule him out completely of the Arsenal game, but it doesn't look good when he missed all of last week's training, trained once and then started and got injured again. Now he's missed all this week's training. I think it's unlikely he gets thrown into the squad as much as we need him. What about Mbappe, says Claude? I wouldn't mind Mbappe. And Kane has played in 7 finals, no goals. He's a bottler. We already have a lot of them. We need to get rid of United. And Sesko and a proven striker will do for me, says HK Music. Thank you very much for that. So, yeah, not looking good on Anthony Martial, to be honest with you. Jadon Sancho is training. Kane isn't even Ten Hag signing. It's marketing signing, says Alec Roach. Yeah, we need to steer clear of those things, 100%. Somebody did just ask me about my combined 11 for the game. I want to talk about what Gary Neville said about Sir Jim Ratcliffe, and then I really want to get into your questions. It is Friday night after all, and cheers to everyone who's having a drink tonight. Would you rather take Osimhen alone or Kane and a good backup number 9, says Levi. I want Osimhen. I really want Osimhen. I like him, yeah. I really do like him. I think a lot of people have seen a lot of him this season, especially with how good Napoli are doing. But I think even before that, he looked like, even last summer when we got linked to him, I was like, that's good. And remember, what you got to remember is, did we try and buy Harry Kane last summer? No, we didn't. We didn't try and buy Harry Kane last summer. We did try and buy Nunez. We did try and buy Sesko. We did try and buy Osman, and we did try and buy João Felix. We never tried to buy Harry Kane. So is that a big hint? Is that a big hint that Ten Hag doesn't really want Harry Kane? Because last summer, we could have gone for Kane. We could have gone for Kane in the summer. You know, the summer before, he nearly went to Man City. So Kane was there to be got at last summer. Granted, Spurs had just qualified for the Champions League, so they probably didn't want to let him go. But we didn't even inquire about Kane. Ten Hag never went for Kane. We did inquire about Sesko. We did inquire about Felix, factually. We did inquire about Osman, because there was talk about they would give him to us for a certain price, and then we had to loan them Ronaldo. There was somebody else we tried to get as well, but we never did get linked to Kane. Hi Mark, the boys group chat saw your opinion about inviting girls, and we would like to invite you, says Seb. Okay, I don't know what that's all about, Seb, but thank you very much for your super chat. And it's not a hint we are Europa League team at the start of the season, says Jonas. Ollie's still be in his job if he'd got Harry Kane, says Nobby. Yeah, and we'd still have Harry Maguire starting every game with Victor Lindelof and McTominay and Fred in the midfield. I don't think Harry Kane was going to save us from that, really, was he? I want to talk about a little bit. I've got a couple of things to talk about, and then we're going to get into what you've all been talking about. I just wanted to quickly bring in what Mikel Arteta has been saying ahead of this game with Manchester United. He said on Erik ten Hag, he's implemented a very clear way of playing, and I think the players seem like they've bought into it. Man United have got a good energy around the place, and a lot of things have changed in a short period of time. So credit to him and the coaching staff for what they've done in the short space of time. I feel there's big respect between Arteta and Ten Hag. They may be falling out at the weekend, but I think there is respect there. There's similarities between what both managers have done. And, you know, as much as I don't like Arsenal, and there is a rivalry there, and we must embrace the rivalry, I can't help but feeling going into this game, I'm not going into it with, you know, disdain or dislike. I'm actually going into it in a way where I desperately want us to win, and it would be a massive win. But I do respect what Arsenal have done, and I do respect the team that they've built. I can't help that. I can't change my mind on that. You know, I know people want to fly into rivalry and get vicious and, you know, abusive and banter and all that, but I can't help the fact that I'm very impressed with what Arsenal have done under Arteta. And I think the team he's built is very impressive. And I think the way they play is very impressive. And they've done it without oil money as well. Or Todd Bowley. You know, they have done it in a gradual way. So I think there is respect there. He was asked about Arteta not playing. He says it's something that we can't control. He didn't play in the first game either, when we still didn't do enough to win the match. And he says, when you look at United's squad, it's incredible. The individuals and the collective organisation to beat any opponent in this league. And he will plan the game knowing that he is not available, that's for sure, in relation to Casemiro. I mean, I think that's Arteta's only bullshit line. When I look at that squad, it's incredible. I really would not... And I would not describe our squad as incredible. I would describe our squad as bloody expensive, but I would not describe our squad as incredible. There's nothing incredible about our squad. I think we've got a good first team. Yeah, I think we've got a good first team. When you can play De Gea, Dalot, Varane, Martinez, Shaw, Casemiro, Eriksen, Bruno, Anthony, Rashford, and Martial, well, you've got a good first 11. And then that's backed up by some decent squad players like Wan-Bissaka. You know, Fred's a decent squad player, to be fair. Sancho is a good player as well. And then we've got a couple of good youngsters like Garnacho. But I don't think we've got a good squad. I don't think we've got an incredible squad. I think our midfield's weak. I think our front striker position is weak. I think if we lose a centre-back, we're not particularly strong. I think we've got a lot of players, but I don't think we've got an incredible squad, really. I think that undermines the job that Ten Hag's got to do. We're not, you know, if you've got an incredible squad, you're ready. We're not ready. We're not. He's overachieving, Ten Hag, 100%. Goldbridge's world-class analysis, no doubt, says Sheriff. Well, I'm probably about to... we've got a lot of overpriced players, says Malks, and I would agree with that. So my combined 11 for Manchester United-Arsenal. Renate says, do you think we will sign a win against Arsenal? Your prediction, mine's 1-2 to United, says Renate. Well done. I went 1-1. I've gone 1-1. The only way I can see us winning this game is if Ten Hag pulls off a masterstroke. I genuinely think without Casemiro and Martial, it makes us very, very defensive and very, very reliant on Rashford getting the goals. So, yeah, I mean, but Ten Hag is capable. He's certainly capable of doing it. Kelly says, great show as always. Big thumbs up. Make sure you smash a like on the video. Right, I've been asked to do a combined Manchester United 11. I'm going to do it. I'm going to blast through it and try and explain it to you. In goal, I'm going to go with De Gea. Ramsdale's been fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. But, you know, I think De Gea's been brilliant this season as well. And obviously, I'm going to go for our player. It's close, but I'm going to go De Gea. He's been world class. That save the other night, unbelievable. So De Gea for me in goal. Right back, I'm going to go with Ben White because I am going to pick players that are fit for this game. That's the whole point of combined 11. So Ben White at right back. It's Wan-Bissaka or Ben White, and Ben White's been ridiculously consistent at right back, so I'll go with Ben White. At left back, I'm going for Luke Shaw. Zinchenko's done well, but Luke Shaw's been incredible for us, so it's Luke Shaw at left back. Centre backs, I normally like a pairing. So Martinez and Varane or Gabriel and Saliba. I normally would go with a pairing, but to me, the two standout centre-backs this season amongst those four for consistency is Varane and Saliba. So my back five would be De Gea, White, Saliba, Varane and Shaw. My midfield three would be Xhaka, Partey and Odegaard. And that hurts me to do that, but Casemiro's not fit. So if Casemiro was fit, it would be Partey, Casemiro and Odegaard. Odegaard is probably going to get Player of the Year. Partey's been fantastic for them. And I think Partey and Odegaard are better than Bruno and Eriksen this season. And Bruno and Eriksen have been very, very good. But Odegaard and Partey have been immense for Arsenal. So I would go Casemiro, Partey and Odegaard. But Casemiro's not able to play. So I'd have to say Xhaka. It's hard, but I think that's how I feel. Off the right-hand side, Saka. Off the left-hand side, Rashford. And then up front, I'd like to be choosing between Jesus and Martial. But if both of them are injured, I've got to choose between Weghorst and Nketiah. And I've got to go with Nketiah because I just don't know about Weghorst. So, yeah, it's a difficult one. So ultimately, De Gea, Luke Shaw, Varane, Saliba, White, Odegaard, Xhaka, Partey, Saka, Nketiah, Rashford. So Rashford, Shaw, Varane, De Gea, 4 United players against 7 Arsenal players. But they are top of the league. They are top of the league. I mean, I'd rather play Bruno false 9 than Nketiah, to be honest with you. In fact, that's what I would do. So that's 5 United players. And obviously Casemiro would be in if he was not suspended. But look, you've got to put some respect on Arsenal. And look, I love Bruno Fernandes, but there's no way he's had as good a season as Odegaard. And, you know, you want an honest combined 11? That's an honest combined 11. You're going to have a different one. You know, some people are, you know, blind loyal. I'm not. You know, I think that I'm realistic and I'm very respectful of what Arsenal have done and I'm very respectful of what we're doing. And I think if you're worried about me saying Xhaka, Partey and Odegaard, you've probably not watched Arsenal much this season, and you might be in for a surprise on Sunday. They're a very, 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 very good midfield three. I hate to say it, the improvement with Xhaka this season has been unbelievable. Juventus won't have Champions League football next season. Hit with a 15-point deduction, says Mario G. Go and get Paradis on loan right now. Ring them up and get Paradis on loan right now. They need to save money right now. If that's true about Juventus, don't wait till the summer. Get in there now. Go and say, do you fancy saving £5 million? I would. I really would. I'd be on the phone to Juventus. Chirin, don't send John Murta. He's been there before and come back with nothing. But I would be on the phone to Juventus right now saying, look, you're in financial trouble. You're not in the Champions League next year. What's the point? This is a really, really good point I'm going to make here. I don't always make them, but this is going to be a really good point. If Juventus aren't going to win the league, which they're not, and they can't qualify for the Champions League, what's the point in carrying big wages now? There is no point. I would say to them on the phone, right, you need to, between now and the end of the season, you need to save as much money as you can. Next season, yeah, you need your players because you need to try and get back in the Champions League. But this season, there is no point. There is nothing you can do. You can't qualify for the Champions League. So how's about we take him and him off for you to save you some money on loan? I'd be all over it. I'd be all over that. I mean, I don't even... What's the Juventus squad? Let's have a quick look here. Juventus. Let's have a look. Come on, John. You should be doing this as well. Juventus. Let's have a look. Okay, I'm going to whack it up on the screen for you. Juventus squad. Don't want Chesney. Nah. Don't want any defenders. Probably not going to give us Locatelli, are they? Paredes, yeah, I'd have a look at that. Pogba's injured. Rabiot, have a look at that. He's injured though. McKennie, I'd have a look at that. Yeah, McKennie, Rabiot, Paredes. You know, they don't need all those midfielders when they're not going to be playing in the Champions League next season. So, yeah, pick up the phone and say to them, you can't qualify for the Champions League next year. You just can't do it. So, as about saving a bit of money. Why do footballers always manage to get straight 10-10s when we love a 10? Also, can't wait to see more going for Goldbridge about his eventful pub nights out, says Sheriff. Thank you very much. I was just having a quick look there about where Juventus are in the league. 15-point deduction won't have been added on yet. They currently have, let's have a look, table. Oh, they're in third place with 37 points. They have won their last 4 in a row, to be fair. So they're doing quite well, Juventus. Third place with 37 points. But if you knock 15 points off, that would put them down to 22 points. 12 points off Lazio, who would then be 4th. They might fancy it, but it'd be difficult. No, it will be difficult. Apparently Chelsea are going for Gusto now. Oh, leave me alone. Fucking hell. I reckon Todd Bowley watches the United Stand. I really do think. He's on social media all the time. He was in a Twitter space the other day. He likes tweets on Twitter. I guarantee you he's been on fucking the United Stand and gone, oh, Gusto, never heard of him. He looks good. I get the sense the club either can't think or doesn't try to think of creative solutions to get Erik ten Hag more players, to Stephen. Nah, they'll be finished. They probably all went down TGI Fridays at 4 o'clock. Their phones are off now till Monday morning. They won't find out that Chelsea have got a 15-point gap till Monday. They're not switched on. They're, you know, you lot live United more than they do. Definitely. I'll be gutted if Gusto goes to Chelsea. It'd be a bloody good signing for them. I mean, but he's not ready. What I will say about Gusto, he ain't ready. They can buy him, but he ain't ready. If you know, Chelsea actually need to buy Dumfries because Reece James gets injured a lot. They need somebody ready to start playing for them. Gusto's one for the future. How many more players are they going to buy that's for the future? So that'd be interesting. That would be interesting. But you can't. I'm not frustrated if Chelsea sign Gusto because I'm angry with Chelsea. I'm frustrated because I'm angry with United. I can't argue with Chelsea going out and buying players that we want because they're going out and buying players. We're not even in the race. We're not even putting our bloody running kit on, you know? Will the club bring Ollie in to learn from Ten Hag, says Sheriff? God, I hope not. I hope not. I really, really hope not. Look, there are deals that Manchester United can do. Check out the press conference reaction this afternoon. Ten Hag wants us to do deals. There are deals that we can do. Let's see if they will do them. We've just spoken about Juve's 15-point reduction, and we've spoken about Gusto. I want to get into your questions. It is the Friday night show. Please smash a like on the video, and please do subscribe to the channel. We are really, I don't know what number we've got on there. 1590. That's bloody wrong. That is completely wrong. Who's been messing around with my channel? I tell you what, don't piss about. I'm not having that. We're not on 590. We're on 559. Bloody idiots. Anyway, we're 200 subscribers away from 560,000. I don't know why it says 590. Prats. Absolute prats. I'll change it. I want to talk about what Gary Neville has said about Sir Jim Ratcliffe, to you and me. Obviously, Gary is a very opinionated Manchester United fan and ex-legend of the club. I mean, current legend of the club, ex-player of the club. I would class him as a legend. He was a fantastic right-back. And he's been quite vocal about, obviously, Manchester United and who's going to buy us, etc. And he did say that the priority above anything is to get the Glazers out of the club, which I think we'd all agree with. And he spoke about Sir Jim Ratcliffe, and basically, I mean, a lot of what he said is what I said when I reacted to it, and what we said, actually. He said that, look, Sir Jim Ratcliffe is a local lad who supports the club, and a lot of fans, myself included, would be very happy having somebody like that in charge of the club who cares about the club. But he also said, whoever buys the club, we need to be debt free, and they've got to have the money to invest a lot of money in the club, but not want a return. We cannot have another owner that buys us for a lot of money with the idea of making a few billion a few years down the road. And I agree with that. And he went on to say that Sir Jim Ratcliffe, has he got the money to buy the club, clear the debt, and then spend the money that needs to be spent? And he also went on to say he might need to bring people along with him to buy the club. And what will those people he bring along with him want? Will they be people who want a return on the club? So actually, I think it's the best thing Gary Neville's said in a while about the ownership, because he's absolutely correct. The big thing about any bid, and he went on to say this, there might be other bids that are better than Sir Jim Ratcliffe's, but it would be nice to know what the intentions of these bids are, which we probably won't know. But he's right. This is what we were saying the other night. If Sir Jim Ratcliffe buys the club but can't afford it, so gets other people to come along with him, and those people want a return on their investment, that might be a bad deal. So you might have the right man with the right feelings towards the club, but he can't afford to buy it on his own, so he gets other people to invest, and those investors, he's saying, buy this club, we'll make your money back. Is that what we want? So I think Gary's spot on. I think we spoke about it a few nights ago. If Sir Jim Ratcliffe's got the money to buy the club, clear the debt, and spend billions on the club on his own, we're probably in a very good position. If Sir Jim Ratcliffe is going to buy the club and have other people invest with him and try and run it as a sort of business, then I think that's a bad one. I'd much rather have the what Man City and Newcastle have got, to be honest, because I agree with Gary. Whoever takes over Man United has got to clear the debt and spend a load of money on it with the intention of doing that for a very long time, not with the intention of selling us in a couple of years for a little bit more. If we're going to go for Kane, I think we have to go for Sesko too. I think Sesko would be a brilliant understudy for Kane, says Oishan. And Mark, I heard King Charles was in Manchester. You should have invited him to the studio to do an Arsenal United preview, says Zayn Miassi. Wasn't he at the biggest corn factory in the world? I'm sure there's a joke there. I just can't think of what it is. Would you take Morata in the summer on deadline day? Well, I wouldn't take him on the summer. Divya, I wouldn't take him in the summer. I might take him at another time, but I wouldn't take him in the summer. I forgot to ask everybody as well. Please do subscribe to the channel. I'm using a different microphone tonight, and I've not noticed anybody in the chat know that. So I presume it's fine. But I normally have a microphone in front of me, and I've changed my setup, so I've now got a microphone above me. It seems like it's done okay. If United get Kane in the summer, do you reckon they make him the captain for the new season, says Alex? No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No. Furman says we can't hear you. Yeah, I'm sure you can't after 40 minutes. Can we see your setup, says Liam? I'm sure I can do that one day. Jakob, I'm just going to block you, mate. Sometimes when you ask a question of this community and you want you want genuine feedback, some people think it's like a red rag to a bull to be an absolute arsehole. So it's nice just to get sometimes it's nice to set the trap. But there we go. Did you hear about Dani Alves? It's totally indifferent. No, I didn't. Thick Skin says you said career mode on YouTube. I say a lot of things, and I explained why it's on Twitch. Grow up. And Mark, what is your dream January window, says Spacey? There is no dream transfer window in January with Manchester United. The hope is that we bring a couple of players in that can do something to help this squad, because I mean, at the end of the day, Weghorst was not my dream striker, and I don't think it was Ten Hag. So I think we are not going to get a signing that we go, wow. We are going to get, hopefully, a Weghorst type signing in the midfield and maybe another striker, but we're not going to get quality. We're just not going to get any quality in now. If we went and spent 30 million or 40 million now, I'd be furious, because I'd be like, that's just pure desperation again. If you had 40 million to spend, why didn't you go and get him Gakpo, which is what he wanted? So yeah, I can't see that happening. Watch hopefully a couple of loans, but they're not going to be high quality, let's be honest. I watched Martinez highlights at CDM against Chelsea in the Champions League. He can easily slot into DM against Arsenal, says the Josh Show. I really hope that happens. I really do hope it happens, but I'm sort of 50-50 whether you'll do it. I mean, Martinez has never played centre-back for Manchester United before, so I hope it happens, though. Sorry, he's never played CDM for Manchester United before, so but I hope it happens. Josh, you're gone as well. See you later. Do you think we should use the same lineup against Arsenal as before, says Dylan. You do know that was McTominay and no Fred. And it was Malacia at left-back and no Shaw. And it was Sancho who won't be able to play. So I don't think we physically can pick that team. What do you see happening to United if they don't bring in any other transfers in January, says Andrew Fletcher? I think that's a really good question. At the moment, we've got a nice cushion on the top four. I think, actually, one of the best ways of looking at that is looking at Manchester United's remaining Premier League fixtures, because somebody said to me the other day that our fixtures are pretty good. So we've got Arsenal away in the league, then we play Palace at home, then we've got Leeds at home. Oh yeah, I need to talk to you about that. Leeds at home, Leeds away, then we've got Leicester at home. So they're quite a good run. Brentford at home, quite a good run of fixtures where we have been picking up results at home. Liverpool away, Southampton at home, Brighton away. The away games are tough. Newcastle away, Everton at home, Forest away, Chelsea at home, Tottenham away, Villa at home, West Ham away, Wolves at home, Bournemouth away, and Fulham at home. So I think I can already count another. There should be another 10 wins there quite comfortably, which puts us on 69 points. So 69 points, when I can see 10 wins there quite straightforward. You only need a couple more not straightforward wins, and you got 75 points. You got top four. So look, I'm not going to say we're going to get top four because I think it's too early. You could get injuries and that. But if things go to plan, we should get top four. We should get top four. We've had a good run recently. 10 more wins gives us 69 points. I think I can see 10 wins from the games we've got left. There's 6 or 7, probably 8 home games, which I fancy us to win. So we only need a couple of away wins as well. So I think we are looking good for top four. I wouldn't say it's in the bag, because you never know what injuries you're going to get. But I think we're looking good for that. But you've also got to add into the fact that, we've got cups and everything in between. So I think it'd be difficult to get top four and win a trophy other than the Carabao Cup, if I'm being honest. If we're losing Kane to United, would be devastating for us and the Tottenham fan base, says Hey. But if Daniel Levy can get 80 million for 30-year-old with 1 year left on his contract, it may not be too bad. You might get more than that. Mark, if we started Fred, Scotty and Eriksen in midfield with Bruno on the right, no first team midfielder on the bench, and Eriksen fading after 60 minutes, says Carl. Yeah, I would play Martinez in there. If we gave Ralph 200 million, would he still be our manager? And if not, do you think we would be closer to Arsenal with his signings under Ten Hag, says United? Completely hypothetical question, that. I think that Ralph Rangnick had some very interesting players that he wanted to buy. But, I'd like Rangnick to have stayed as the director of football. Murta should have been sacked and Rangnick as the director of football. And I think that would have been the dream scenario for me. Ten Hag working with Ralph Rangnick. But obviously, Murta saw that coming and sacked Rangnick to protect himself, probably. If we end up having unlimited funds, we could end up like Celtic, Rangers. Also, Goldbridge won't allow Prats to wind him up anymore. We love you, says Sheriff. Thank you very much. I wanted to just mention this. It's a really good point. Charlie says, get ready for a Ten Hag masterclass. Fred will be deployed on Odegaard, reminiscent of Ander Herrera against Hazard, says Charlie. I don't think that's going to work away from home. I don't think marking Odegaard man for man away from home is going to work. I think they've got too many other players that can do things, but that doesn't mean that we can't try it, but I don't think that is going to work on its own. I think we're going to need a lot more than just man marking Odegaard. I think it works better when you're at home, like it did with Hazard and Herrera. There's been a change in Manchester United's fixtures. I don't know whether you've noticed this, but I did say that Man United will get... I mean, and this feeds into the story a little bit. Would you have taken Trossard, says Charlie. Yeah, because he can play number 10 as well. Osman looks great, says SK, and his stats just show him up as a pure striker. Even his assists are decent, of course not higher than Kane. Unfortunately, Blahovic, Sesko, Tammy not here him and a works in progress, says SK. Thank you very much. There's been a change in the fixtures for Manchester United. Wish new owners would bring Ranić back, says Lewis. But look, I said this to you before, and I'm going to say it again. Manchester United have not got any time off until March. Now, considering this started on December the 27th, we've been playing a match every 3 or 4 days since December the 27th. Right up to now, January the 20th, we've been playing a game every 3 or 4 days since December the 27th, all right? Sunday, we play Arsenal. Wednesday, we play Forest. Saturday, we play Reading. Wednesday, we play Forest. Saturday, we play Palace. Wednesday, we play Leeds. Sunday, we play Leeds. Thursday, we play Barcelona. Sunday, we play Leicester. Thursday, we play Barcelona. Sunday, we play Brentford. Actually, it'll probably be the Carabao Cup final, to be honest with you. So our first midweek off, potentially, is the beginning of March. We are playing every 3 or 4 days until the end of February, and we've been doing it since December the 27th. If we progress in the Europa League, the FA Cup, and we win the Carabao Cup, we will play midweek before we play Liverpool at the start of March, and then we will play midweek before we play Southampton in the Europa League. It basically, Man United's first time off could be the end of the March for the international break, but certainly at the moment, our very first possibility of not playing every 3 or 4 days is the first week of March. It's incredible, isn't it? It's an incredible demand on any football team. I can't see Kane working for us. We have Bruno in the area of the pitch. Kane likes to take up. We need to find the next Harry Kane, says Zachary. Thank you very much for your super chat there. And Glenny Boy says the players like Casemiro and Bruno who've already had 5 cards need to be careful the second half of the season because 10 yellows is a 2-match ban. Yeah, and Casemiro will hit that. I'm telling you now, Glenny. I'm telling you now. With that schedule as well, which is still the same amount of Premier League games, isn't it? But Casemiro 100% will hit 10 yellow cards, and he'll probably do it by the end of March. He will hit 10 yellow cards. He will hit 10 yellow cards quite simply because Eriksen doesn't tackle and neither does Bruno. So Casemiro does all the enforcer work. So he will hit the yellow cards. Bin says, important football question. Have you seen that man outside your window doing... Oh, God. Bin, why? Juventus have been hit with a 15 points deduction, says Nelson. Slow Sports News there. Slow Sports News. So, yeah, it's relentless. It's relentless for Manchester United, this schedule that we have to keep up. KC says, realistically, when do you think that Sancho will come back? I believe that Jadon Sancho may well be on the bench for Forest next Wednesday. If we are, if things go well, I think that will happen. Yeah, I do. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. Just click the button, bottom right-hand corner. We're getting really close to 560,000. So thanks everyone for getting involved. Please do subscribe, bottom right-hand corner, and smash a like on the video. I've really enjoyed the show tonight. I always enjoy the Friday night show. Chart show's back tomorrow night as well. Get ready for that. Looking forward to doing my chart show. Top 10 United players of the week. Can't remember who was number 1 last week. Well, I didn't do it last week. Who was number 1 the week before? I think it was it Casemiro? I think it was Casemiro. I know it was Rashford was very close to being number 1. I think he was 2. SK says, one thing we don't consider is not just the short-term injuries the effect on players for pre-season and next season. This could be disruptive, says SK. I think that... I think we've already seen with this team, it's not even about injury. I think injury is a very obvious result of too many games because you can't play because you're injured. Look at Delot, look at Martial. But there is also another loss that comes from playing lots of games, and we've seen it with other players. If you look at Bruno in the second half against Palace, he wasn't injured, but he was no good. He was knackered. If you look at the team that played against Aston Villa and lost, none of them were injured, but they were absolutely exhausted and they were useless. So it's not just about injury. You're right. It's about pure fatigue. You can turn up in a Man United shirt, but you can be absolutely crap because you're exhausted. You won't be injured, and you might not pick up an injury, but you're not playing at your best. Robert says, do you think United will go after Darwin Núñez? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's not going to happen. Brighton are going to win the league, says Just Some Bloke. I tell you what, I'd be here for that. I'd love Brighton to win the league if it's not going to be us. Palestri. Momo says Palestri might be better than Anthony. His proper skill, dribbling and runs. It's not really coming from a good source yet, but there was a story tonight about Palestri potentially going to Valencia on loan, which I think is a terrible move. Absolutely terrible. I don't want him to go on loan, Palestri, but if he is going to go on loan, I want him to go on loan to the Championship, in the league that we want him to play in. I hate it when we send players on loan to Spain. Why? Pereira, we did it to Pereira twice. He never bloody played for the club, really. He now plays for Fulham and he's a Premier League player. Keep them in the bloody Premier League. Keep them in the league you want them to play. I don't see any advantage to sending Palestri to go and play for a La Liga side. Get him in the bloody Championship. That's what... I mean, look at what's happening with Ahmad. I'd much rather have Ahmad playing for Sunderland in the Championship than playing for Feyenoord in the Eredivisie or playing for Sevilla in La Liga. Put him in the league where he's going to play. And the Championship is very competitive. It's a great place to be. So I don't want to see Palestri going to Valencia, because I think if he goes to Valencia, it ultimately is going to be sold. Yeah. Did you see what Ricky said about Casemiro, says Rory? I love those loaded questions where I haven't seen it, so I don't know. I don't know what he said. Palestri's been sent to Spain since we signed him. You're right. You're right, GI. He's been at Alaves, Jake. I think he might have been there twice. But look, it's only the source isn't that good, but I read it just before I went live. Yeah. Matthew says you can get some Juve players. The league just took 15 points away from Juve. 100%. I said this earlier on in the show. 100%. Get on the phone to Juventus. All you got to say is this: you've had 15 points taken off you. You're not getting Champions League football this year. So why are you paying these big wages this year? Obviously, you want them next year when you want to get back in the Champions League. But you need to start saving some money now. What players do you want to give us, and we'll take them on loan for you and help you out. You are helping Juventus out by taking off some of their players for the next few months, because their season's over. They can't win the league, and they probably can't get Champions League football. They need to start cutting costs. Juventus is the place to go. And we've got quite a good relationship with Juventus, so I would be on to them. Rory says that Ricky said that Casemiro tires more than Eriksen. Bloody Ricky. You've had a stinker there, mate. Now you made it, you don't need to read everyone's chats, says Sheriff. I do read all the chats that I see, mate, but sometimes they slip through, as I've said many a time before. You could raid PSG for loans, says Laurie. I think, as I said at lunchtime, getting a player on loan that improves our midfield isn't a problem. The problem is United don't want to spend money. Let's say it how it is. John Murta in October said, we don't really want to do anything in January. We like to do our business in the summer. That's how crap this football club is. It ignores transfer windows halfway through a season that could help you win something that season. It focuses on the summer. There are good loan deals that can be done in January. Look at talking about Juventus. Juventus weren't in a bloody 15-point deduction a year ago. They let Kulusevski and Bentancur go to Spurs on loan. So if they're going to let Kulusevski and Bentancur go on loan a year ago in January, when they weren't in trouble, imagine what they're going to do now they've had a 15-point gap and they're in trouble. They will loan as players, 100%. 100% they will loan as players. But will United want to do it? Will they be intelligent enough to pick up the phone? I don't know. Anyway, look, thanks everyone for tuning in. Really enjoyed it. I know I'm not looking at the camera as much because I have got a microphone above me now and it's sort of disconcerting. But Hopefully the show sounded all right. Hopefully you enjoyed it. We'll be back in the morning at 10 o'clock with the morning show. We've got an amazing weekend. I mean, I'm doing a watch along on That's Football at 12 o'clock tomorrow for Liverpool Chelsea. I'm really looking forward to that. I've got my TalkSport show tomorrow night, 7:30 till 9 o'clock. You can call into that. It's live on YouTube as well. And then Super Sunday, Arsenal. We've got the chart show tomorrow. I'll be back with the morning show as well. Camavinga is available on loan. I don't think he is, Trevor. I saw Camavinga linked to Arsenal. I don't think Camavinga is available on loan. United have been bought by the Kuwait royal family, says Zen. Okay. Yeah, you've just been told that, haven't you? Nobody else. No journalists, no business journalists, just you. Okay. All right. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. Smash a like, and I'll speak to you tomorrow. Fantastic show. Always enjoy the Friday night show. Hope you did as well. Fantastic community as ever. Take care, everyone. I'll speak to you all in a bit.